It's not going to be the mayor of Manchester, is it?
It's Andy Burnham.
Talk about...
Well, good guess.
Talk about your own agenda.
He basically won the general election by making reform a viable option. Only 5 seats, I get that, but 4 million votes.
Yeah.
First time they ever stood in a general election.
And he started late. Right, we're going to go to number 2, I think now. Number 2 villain of 2024.
Yeah.
Mr. Buckley.
You won't have him on your list. He wouldn't have crossed your mind. My next 2 are going to blow you away. The next one you'll go, no, yeah, I suppose that you would pick him. My next one is...
Oh, it's going to be... it's not going to be the mayor of Manchester, is it?
It's Andy Burnham.
Talk about...
Well, good guess.
Talk about your own agenda. You're becoming like the rest of them, Nick, aren't you? It's just like, yeah,
I have reasons.
Andy Burnham, who nobody's ever heard of, is now the number 2 villain of 2024.
Yes, he's a villain because I'm a Mancunian, and...
This isn't just a list of people you don't like very much.
Well, that's why they're villains. He is a villain for several reasons.
He's not a Mancunian, he's a Scouse.
No, but I'm a Mancunian.
Yes, you are.
So, for several reasons, let's talk about the obvious ones first. He's the mayor of Greater Manchester.
Yes.
He's the classic, iconic career politician who
Yes.
says nothing, does nothing, achieves nothing.
And toes the elitist line.
Yeah, has half-decent smile, has good communication skills, has a great PR team around him, and has polished himself like Tony Blair, and is now the king in waiting. And he's achieved nothing in his career.
Correct.
He's achieved nothing for Greater Manchester. Knife crime's out of control in Greater Manchester. When he came into office, he said he would eliminate, not reduce, he would end rough sleeping in Greater Manchester. He said it'd take him 3 years. He's now had nearly 8. And rough sleeping now is just as bad as the day he took over. There was a dip when he spent billions of pounds, but it's back up again now to pre-Andy Burnham level. So he's completely failed on that. He's never spoken about knife crime. He doesn't meet any of the victims of knife crime. He's painted all our buses yellow, and he's using the yellow buses and he's not taken over the companies of the buses. He's privatised their contracts basically, so they all work for him now. He's reduced the bus fares, which sounds great, but he's put up our council tax to do it, and he's had billions off the government to do it. If he doesn't increase bus passengers by 30% in the next 2 years, the whole project goes bankrupt. So we could lose we won't never lose our buses, but basically we could lose the bus system, but it'd be bailed out, just like London's bailed out all the time. He is a complete waste of time. You have no idea what he believes in. He believes in whatever's popular. He doesn't talk about many of the complicated topics because he probably has got an answer. He's a coward. Yeah. He's a coward.
Yeah.
He's a career politician waiting to be king.
Yeah.
And the people of Greater Manchester deserve better. But the people of Greater Manchester keep voting him in.
Yes.
More fool Mancunians, more fool the people of Greater Manchester for keeping your eyes closed and not seeing through these charlatans, these career politicians, these polished turds. Stop voting for them. I'm not saying you should have voted for me. I'm just saying stop voting for people like that. DDSS, different day, same shit with Andy Burnham. And if you want change, you stop fishing in the same pool if you want change.
I think that's a very personal choice, Nick, and I would say that most of our viewers, especially the Manchester viewers who you just insulted and said, why do you keep voting for him, you're idiots, I think you might have lost some of them there. And I agree that Andy Burnham is a villain. Is he in the top 5 villains of 2024? No, he's not in the top 5 villains of 2024. But obviously you've got your personal agenda that you want to pursue. I'd say he's probably number 36, maybe. He is a villain, there's no doubt about it. I think a far better villain you could have chosen, who is also a mayor, who's on my list, is Sadiq Khan, who is an absolute little shit. And the things he has done to London in 2024 are scandalous. So I think he would have been a great choice, and I think a lot of people would have chimed with that choice if you were going to go for mayor.
I thought of Khan, but I'm the mayor. I'm the...
You are the putative mayor.
So it had to be. If I want to talk about a mayor, it has to be the Greater Manchester mayor. And plus, Sir Sadiq Khan is an obvious choice.
Yes, of course it's an obvious choice because he's an obvious villain.
Yeah, but it was too obvious. Too obvious, I thought.
Anyway, so we now understand that your elitist agenda is being fulfilled in this. So that's your number 2.
Yeah.
So Andy Burnham, folks, that's the number 2 villain in 2024. You now know. I'm fascinated now to know who your number 1 villain is because this is getting me very interested. What about your number 2 hero of 2024?
I'm guessing my number 2 is your number 1. So my number 2 hero of the year is hero, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to heroes. Yeah.
So my number 2 hero of the year is a Mr. Nigel Farage.
No, he's not my number 1.
Oh, right.
He's in the top 3.
Right.
He's not my number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So Nigel Farage.
You'll be surprised at my number 1.
I think we might have the same number 1, but we'll see in a minute.
Oh, sorry. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So Nigel Farage is...
You're running out of people. You're running out of people now. I think you've missed some good ones in there.
Maybe. Well, you can read yours at the end and tell me what I've missed out.
Yeah.
Nigel Farage is the most successful politician this year.
So Nigel Farage is your number 2 hero of 2024. Yeah.
He's undoubtedly the most successful politician at the moment in time in this country.
I'd agree. Phenomenal.
He basically won the general election by making reform a viable option. Only 5 seats, I get that, but 4 million votes.
Yeah.
First time they ever stood in a general election.
And he started late as well, do you remember?
Well, everyone started late. Everyone had 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, it was a very short campaign. He won that election.
It was started, I think, as a surprise like that. I think the Tories and Labour agreed between themselves they were going to do it. I think they said, we need to keep reform out. We'll talk about this later. We're going to keep reform out, so let's pull a surprise election and catch Nigel Farage off guard. They agreed that between them.
I think that's true, but I don't think Labour were involved in the decision at all. Because Labour were the biggest beneficiaries of it. It was obvious Labour was going to be the big beneficiary of it. I think Sunak called the election because he was weak and had had enough. He knew he was going to lose the next election, and he went, well, why am I here? Why am I taking all this crap? Call the election, get it over and done with. But if he'd have waited to now, the end of the year, he still would have lost, but he would have won more seats. He would have put the Tories in a better position. I only found out the other day that when he announced the election, his cabinet didn't know.
Oh, really?
He made that decision. He went to the king, told the king, asked permission.
Well, the king knew before the cabinet?
Yes.
Really?
What normally happens is it's announced in a cabinet, they agree on it. It's then announced to the Commons or to the public, and they normally say, and now I'm off to see the king now, the monarch, to get permission. He did it way round. He stood there and went, I've spoken to the king and he's giving a permission called general election. His cabinet didn't know. David Cameron was in a foreign country, had to fly back and miss all the reasons why he went. He was on a plane when it was announced. No one knew because he didn't want anyone to know because his cabinet would have ousted him.
I see.
So he wanted it to be a fait complete.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, carry on.
Farage, let's get back to Farage.
Mr. Farage.
So Farage has changed British politics. His party now has taken off. They've now overtaken the Tory membership. 140,000 members now the Reform have got. Someone did a poll the other day. If the election was called yesterday, Farage would have 80 seats.
Yeah, no, but if it had been called yesterday, that's on the basis of what Labour have done over the past 6 months, so it wouldn't work that way, would it? Because actually Labour wouldn't have the track record it's got now.
No, I mean, if there was a new election called yesterday, Reform would win. Oh,
yeah,
seats.
Sorry, I see what you mean, yeah.
So, even though that's not enough to form a government, but hey, they've got 5 seats at the moment. They go up to 80. That's not bad for 6 months campaigning.
No. And I think the reality of that is coming now because of Trump as well. This is why we come full circle to Trump.
Wait till Trump starts starts doing stuff,
Yeah.
and Farage says that's what we should be doing,
yeah.
more people will be following suit.
Well, all Farage has to say is, we'll do that when we're in
Yeah.
power. And they'll know it because they know that he and Trump are good friends and that
Yeah.
Trump supports him. So
Exactly.
they'll know that.
And you've got something that's actually working. It's
Yeah.
hard to sell an idea no one's seen.
Yeah, correct.
But when the idea is already being implemented and working, that's an easy idea to sell.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be Farage. He's got enough. I mean, it's too early to tell yet. This could all be a flash in the pan. Anything could happen. But at the moment in time, he's doing tremendous. The Tories are scared stiff of him. Labour are scared stiff of him. He now has the leader of the Tory party criticising his website to the major news outlets. How pathetic. I mean, that's not a story. It really isn't. If that's the most they can do to attack him.
It adds grist to the mill, doesn't
That's
it?
all it
People
does.
just look at that and say, we need to vote reform, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's all you can criticise reform for is you think they're fiddling their online ticker of memberships. If that's it,
Yeah.
then you're done.
I was kind of disappointed when Kemi Badenoch won the Tory leadership because I thought she was the best candidate, and I didn't want the best candidate to win because I want the Tories gone, basically. But she's been doing a dreadful job.
She is a DI hire.
Is she?
Yeah.
Really?
She got a job again because she's a woman and because she's black. And when she became leader, I mean, she rose up the ranks partly because of that, but partly because she's an intelligent woman.
Yeah, she's an intelligent.
All these DI hires are fairly intelligent, but are they intelligent enough to get to that last position they get to? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
She's a caretaker manager. She will last a year or two. There'll be no traction in Tory votes and she'll be ousted.
Yeah.
But I've always thought of that. She's in positions of some power now as opposition leader. What has she done? Done nothing. She's being tested and she's doing absolutely
So you think these DEI hires like Badenoch and other people we've talked about before, they are capable, they're intelligent, whatever, but they're not the superstars we need? That's what you're saying. It's kind of that. It's kind of putting an amateur boxer in against a professional boxer, isn't it? They haven't got that extra second of speed or millisecond of speed or reaction.
It's a difference between a world-class striker and Ronaldo and Messi.
Yes.
You look at the world-class strikers, you go, God, they're good.
They're
Kemi is good.
Yeah.
But is she a Ronaldo? Is she
That's
a
a really
Messi?
good analogy. I like that.
So they're not stupid.
Yeah.
She's a very intelligent woman. I know that. But is she that good? And the answer is no. Why are they taking a chance on her? They've taken a chance on her because in an insulting way, they think because she's a black woman that gives the Tory party. She doesn't think that.
Yeah.
But the mechanisms behind the Tory party all but she's a black woman. They can't call us racist with a black woman. Of course they can.
Yeah.
They call you misogynist when you had female leaders.
Yeah.
The left hate Margaret Thatcher, for God's sake.
That's interesting. So she's kind of Haaland to Ronaldo and Messi, really. Haaland is a world-class striker, but he's not got all those skill sets.
Yeah.
However, David Lammy is as thick as short planks. And he's a black DI. There's no doubt about it. But that's interesting. So I think, because I, like you, thought she comes across as quite bright and quite capable, but maybe she's not world class or not Messi standard. Yeah.
But also because
whereas I think Farage is Ronaldo Messi standard, isn't he? He's got to be to have done what he's done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a one-man band. Look what he's achieved.
Yeah, phenomenal.
People think, well, he's only just become an MP. No, he was in the European Union for 20 years.
Yeah.
He's done all sorts of things. Kemi looks better than she is because who she's surrounded by in the Tory party. So because she stuck up for biological women, we think she's the saviour.
Yeah, well, I did because of that.
She's got common sense.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the days of thinking you're a fantastic leader because you've got common sense.
Because you think women are women.
She's also stood up in Parliament saying we need more immigration. And it's all on record. It's all on YouTube. Okay. We need to relax immigration for students. We need more immigrants. So she's on the opposite side to all of that. And the reason why I don't want her as leader and I don't want her as prime minister is because she's a foreigner. She is a Nigerian.
Was she born in Nigeria?
She was born in the UK,
Yeah.
left immediately,
Yeah.
and then was raised in Nigeria in America.
Yeah.
Didn't come back to England until she was 16.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So and nothing wrong in that. That's not her fault.
Yeah.
That doesn't make her a bad person, but that doesn't make her British to me.
Yeah. Isn't there somebody else who was raised in Saudi? Who's that one? I'm getting confused about.
That's that Lord Chancellor, but it turns out she wasn't. She lived as
Shabana Mahmood.
Yeah, she was
Shabana
born in Birmingham, moved to Saudi with her parents for, was raised there to a certain age, then came back.
Yeah.
I had to put a correction on the video we did on that.
Oh, did you?
Just saying I was wrong. She wasn't born in Saudi, she was born in Birmingham. We've got to be honest. I mean, it's not, if this was a news channel, I don't know my research.
Yes.
It's not a news channel, is it?
It's not.
I don't know what we're talking about till we start talking about it. So
it's just two blokes talking rubbish.
Exactly. But when I know I've made a mistake, I put it in the notes of the video.
Let's circle back round to Nigel Farage. Finish off on why he's your
Nigel
hero.
Farage.
Your
It's the
number 2
first
hero.
time ever this last couple of weeks that the mainstream media are saying it's not impossible that he could become Prime Minister in the next election. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
I agree. Yeah.
That is a 180 for mainstream media to even acknowledge the fact that, and it is improbable at the moment he'll be Prime Minister, but and I agree with that bit, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. I think that the mainstream media has shifted a lot. I mean, this is something to talk about elsewhere maybe, but they've shifted a lot in the past couple of months. But I think that's because they finally realised they're facing an existential threat. Their viewing figures are so low, the circulation of papers is so low. I think they're starting to realise if we don't start to actually do our job properly, report properly as journalists, we're going to die, basically.
I think that's part of the reason. I think that's part of the reason the people at the top of the mainstream media, but I think as you go lower down, I think a lot of them are going, things have changed. What I thought was reality doesn't seem to be reality, because why would Trump get elected? Why would Farage do so well? Why is reform still going up in the polls?
Yeah.
I think, not consciously but subconsciously, I think lots of reporters in the mainstream media are subconsciously re-evaluating where they stand and what reality is. I don't think they know they're doing it, because I don't think they realised how biased they were in the first place. They were just, I'm reporting reality. And now it's reality, their reality is so unreality now, they're having to seek what is reality. And it's going to take another few months and years for that. But they've changed America as well.
Yeah,
it's changed. No,
it's changed massively.
You only can be proven wrong so many times before you say to yourself, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, am I the baddie?
Yeah, am I the baddie?
Yes. So that's great. Nigel Farage. So he's on my list. He's at my kind of number 3 though.